The school hallways buzzed with their usual morning noise, lockers slamming, friends catching up, teachers reminding students to hurry, but everything shifted slightly when a new face stepped through the main entrance. Maya Ramirez, carrying a neatly organized binder and wearing a soft, calm smile, walked in with quiet confidence. Although she was new to the district, she didn't seem intimidated. Her posture was straight, her gaze steady. She had transferred mid-semester, which always drew attention, but today the whispers were louder than usual. Some students glanced at her with curiosity, others with mild interest, and a few with judgment. In a school where most people knew each other from childhood, someone who looked, spoke, and carried herself differently stood out immediately. Across the hall, leaning against her locker with an expression permanently set to mean, Brittany Caldwell noticed Maya instantly. Brittany was known as the loudest voice in any room, the star of her friend group, and the unofficial bully no teacher had successfully dealt with. Her eyes narrowed as she watched Maya walk by, unbothered by the stares. "Who does she think she is?" Brittany muttered to her friends, flipping her hair dramatically. "Probably thinks she's better than everyone," one of them chimed in. But Maya wasn't trying to be better. She simply wanted a fresh start, a chance to focus on her education and stay out of trouble. She quietly navigated the hallway, checking her schedule and classroom numbers, doing her best to ignore the whispers. Little did she know that Brittany had already chosen her as a target, not because Maya did anything wrong, but because Brittany hated anyone who didn't acknowledge her power. And Maya's calm confidence felt like defiance. Scene 2, The Bully Goes Too Far, approximately equals 300 words. By lunchtime, Maya had already sensed that something was off. People stared too long, some pointed when they thought she wasn't looking, and Brittany, who seemed to command a crowd wherever she went, kept whispering and glancing her way. Maya just wanted to eat quietly, review her notes, and survive her first day. But Brittany wasn't going to allow that. As Maya headed toward an empty table, Brittany suddenly stepped in front of her, blocking her path with a smug grin. Well, look who thinks she can sit wherever she wants," Brittany said loudly enough for nearby students to hear. Maya paused, tense but composed. "I'm just trying to find a seat." Brittany scoffed. "Not here, you're not." She shoved her shoulder forward, pretending Maya had bumped her. Then, in a dramatic voice, she shouted, "Hey, she pushed me, she attacked me." Heads turned instantly. Some students gasped, others rolled their eyes, familiar with Brittany's antics. But this time Brittany escalated. She pulled out her phone and dialed the non-emergency police line, loudly announcing, "I need an officer at the school. A student assaulted me." The cafeteria fell into stunned silence. This wasn't a prank. Brittany was trying to ruin Maya's reputation on day one. A school resource officer arrived moments later, confused by the lack of actual chaos. Brittany pointed at Maya like she was a criminal. "She needs to be detained." Maya's stomach dropped. She had done nothing, but the sight of handcuffs at the officer's belt terrified her. Other students murmured nervously. They knew Brittany was lying, but none of them dared speak up. Brittany smirked, believing she had won. She had no idea how badly she'd miscalculated. Scene 3, The Judge Arrives, approximately equals 300 words. As the officer hesitated, unsure how to proceed with a clearly exaggerated accusation, the principal hurried to call Maya's emergency contact. Within minutes, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside. Students near the windows whispered as a tall woman in a dark suit stepped out with purpose in every stride. Judge Elena Ramirez, Maya's mother, was a respected figure in the county courthouse, known for her fairness and her zero tolerance for injustice. She entered the school with the calm authority of someone used to handling far more serious situations than a cafeteria dispute. The moment she stepped into the lunchroom, the atmosphere changed. Brittany's confident expression flickered. The officer straightened up. Maya, on the verge of tears, finally let out a shaky breath of relief. "Officer," Judge Ramirez said, her voice clear and firm, "I understand someone attempted to detain my daughter." The officer explained the situation awkwardly, admitting that nothing about the scene matched Brittany's dramatic claim. Brittany's face paled as Judge Ramirez turned her sharp gaze toward her. "You filed a false report against my daughter," she said, not raising her voice but making everyone feel the weight of her words. "This is not a prank. This is a criminal offense." Brittany stammered, looking desperately toward her friends, who suddenly backed away, wanting no part in her lie. Her parents arrived moments later, horrified as Judge Ramirez outlined the seriousness of the accusation. The principal confirmed multiple students had seen everything. Not one supported Brittany's story. Judge Ramirez rested a hand on Maya's shoulder. "You're safe," she said softly, then addressed the staff. "And this school will not tolerate targeted harassment." Brittany realized her attempt to humiliate Maya had backfired catastrophically. She had tried to scare the wrong girl, and never imagined the girl's mother was a judge.